What do your spirit guides say? What's going to happen in next few years? Do you have some information about that?
Well, the so-called dark forces, the so-called power elite. I like to put so-called in front of it because I don't see them as powerful beings at all. I see them as locked into false power, because true power does not need to control or manipulate other souls. If you are truly in your power, why would you need to control or manipulate anyone? It's irrelevant. But if you're in this false power, the ego, then you have this deep insecurity, and so you need to control everybody around you in order to feel powerful. It's a false sense of power. And so the so-called power elite, their time is coming to an end, absolutely coming to an end. And when you have a cornered animal, that's a dangerous animal. When you are being exposed for your wicked ways, so to speak, you're dangerous. And you see this right now happening, where the so-called powers that be are no longer playing nice. They're no longer in the shadows trying to manipulate everybody. They're like, they've been exposed, and they're like a vicious animal that's been cornered. And so they're very dangerous right now from a human point of view. From a higher point of view, it's an illusion, but from a human point of view, they seem to be able to cause a lot of death and destruction. And so they are trying to create World War III. Right now, the Western forces are trying to pin some recent military activities on the country of Iran.
Yes,
it's long been figured that Iran would be where a third world war would start if it's going to happen. My guides have said for the last 20 years that the chances of a third world war are somewhere between 50 and 70%. In recent years, it's been about 55%, which is a little bit more promising. There was a greater chance 10 years ago than there is now of a third world war, despite all the things that are going on. And this is because so many people are waking up to the real issue, which is this Sirius star system-based pyramidal hierarchy of control, and these beings not wanting to give up their position near the top of the pyramid, and therefore trying to divide the people among themselves, get them pitting one tribe against another, one political class against another, one religion against another, one ethnic group against another, one race against another. All of this divide and conquer mentality is being instigated by a few beings near the top of the pyramid, ultimately extraterrestrials at the very top of the pyramid. But then as you come down the pyramid from the Sirius A star system, you come to what we would call, the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, the George Soroses, the Bill Gates, the Klaus Schwabs, these types of beings, that kind of are, what's the phrase, supranatural, national. They don't belong to any particular country. They're kind of outside of the organization of countries on the planet. And so they're kind of at maybe the third run down on the pyramid. They're not at the very top. They're the most visible ones in this so-called dark cabal, but they're not the ones that are really pulling the strings. It's like the puppet masters have strings on them from their puppet masters and so on, going up the pyramid. So it's good to see all of this. It's not a good idea to get too immersed in it to the point where all you think about is the dark cabal and all that. But it's good to be aware of this, because we are exposing it. Collectively, we're exposing this system that has been operating here ever since the Syrians first came to Earth, 300,000 years ago, or whenever the first group of beings from Sirius A arrived. Of course, we know about Sumeria and we know about ancient Egypt, and their presence in those cultures. But they were here way before even Lemuria was here. And then the Dracos came in also at various times. And the Dracos and the Syrians formed alliances, and then the Orions came in about 500,000 years ago, actually before the Syrians did. And so we have Syrian Orion alliances as well. A lot of the Middle Eastern people are dominated by both Sirius and Orion energies.